The sun is beginning to set over the open ocean as a lone F/A-18 Super Hornet races toward what appears to be a tiny gray strip floating in the middle of the sea. From the cockpit, the aircraft carrier looks impossibly small, just a moving runway surrounded by thousands of miles of water. For the rookie pilot gripping the controls, this is the moment every hour of training has led to. Unlike a normal airport, the runway ahead is constantly moving. The ship pitches with the waves, changes course with the wind, and offers barely enough space for a fighter jet traveling at nearly 150 miles per hour to come to a complete stop. There is no room for hesitation, and almost no margin for error. Every second, the pilot scans the Fresnel lens, checks the aircraft's lineup with the angled flight deck, maintains the correct angle of attack, and listens for instructions from the landing signal officer. One small mistake could mean missing the arresting wires entirely, forcing an immediate climb back into the sky or worse. This is why carrier landings are widely regarded as one of the most demanding maneuvers in military aviation. It isn't just about flying the aircraft. It's about mastering precision under relentless pressure. But before any pilot is trusted to attempt a landing like this, they must first survive years of one of the toughest training programs in the world. Long before a pilot ever sees an aircraft carrier, the journey begins in the classroom, the simulator, and the skies above military training bases. Becoming a U.S. Navy fighter pilot is not simply about learning to fly. It's about proving the ability to perform under constant pressure, make split-second decisions, and master one of the most demanding professions in the world. Student aviators first complete intensive ground training before progressing through primary flight instruction, where they learn the fundamentals of navigation, formation flying, emergency procedures, and instrument flight. Only those who consistently demonstrate exceptional skill move on to advanced jet training in the T-45 Goshawk, the Navy's carrier training aircraft. But flying the jet is only the beginning. Weeks are spent practicing field carrier landing practice, or FCLP, at specially marked runways that replicate the landing area of an aircraft carrier. Under the watchful eyes of experienced landing signal officers, students fly the same landing pattern again and again, refining every turn, every descent, and every correction until the process becomes instinctive. Simulators recreate rough seas, poor weather, equipment failures, and nighttime conditions, preparing students for situations they may one day face over the open ocean. Even after hundreds of practice approaches, nothing can fully prepare a pilot for the first landing on a real aircraft carrier. After years of training and thousands of hours of preparation, every student eventually reaches the same defining moment. A moving runway in the middle of the ocean, where everything they've learned will be tested in less than 20 seconds. The day every student has been waiting for has finally arrived. Hundreds of miles from shore, a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier cuts through the ocean as a rookie pilot approaches for the first time. From several miles away, the flight deck looks no larger than a postage stamp against the endless sea. Yet within the next few moments, that tiny moving runway must become the pilot's landing zone. The approach begins with the overhead brake. After flying over the carrier, the pilot makes a steep, high-speed turn to enter the landing pattern. As the aircraft reaches the abeam position, the landing gear comes down, the flaps extend, and the tailhook is lowered. Every item is checked carefully, because once the final turn begins, there is little time left to think. Rolling into the approach, the pilot descends toward what naval aviators call the groove, the final 15 to 18 seconds before touchdown. This is where every movement must be smooth and precise. The pilot continuously scans three critical references: the improved Fresnel lens optical landing system, known simply as the meatball, the aircraft's lineup with the angled flight deck, and the correct angle of attack. At the same time, the landing signal officer, or LSO, watches every second of the approach, ready to issue a wave-off if the landing becomes unsafe. Seconds later, the tailhook reaches for one of 4 steel arresting wires stretched across the deck. If everything is perfect, the hook catches a wire and the fighter slams from nearly 150 miles per hour to a complete stop in just 2 seconds. But even after years of training, not every landing ends that way. Sometimes the hook misses every wire, and that's when the real test begins. Catching an arresting wire is the goal, but every naval aviator is trained for the possibility that it won't happen. If the tailhook skips over all 4 arresting wires, the aircraft performs what's known as a bolter. Instead of stopping, the pilot immediately advances the throttles to full military power, maintains the correct angle of attack, and flies off the front of the carrier to make another attempt. There's no time to wonder what went wrong. The entire procedure happens instinctively in just a few seconds. Sometimes the danger appears even before the aircraft reaches the deck. Strong crosswinds, rough seas, or a pitching flight deck can push the jet outside safe landing limits. In those situations, the landing signal officer may order an immediate wave-off, instructing the pilot to abandon the approach and climb away for another circuit. Around the carrier, safety always takes priority over completing the landing. The challenge becomes even greater after sunset. During night carrier operations, the ocean disappears into darkness, leaving pilots with only the glowing Fresnel lens, the carrier's deck lights, cockpit instruments, and the calm voice of the landing signal officer to guide them. Every landing demands complete concentration because fatigue, weather, and limited visibility leave almost no margin for error. For Navy pilots, no carrier landing is ever considered routine. Every approach is treated with the same discipline and respect, whether it's the first qualification flight or the 1,000th operational mission. So why accept this level of risk? Because the ability to launch and recover fighter jets anywhere in the world is what makes America's aircraft carriers among the most powerful military assets ever built. The intense training, relentless practice, and constant pressure all serve one purpose: ensuring that an aircraft carrier can project air power anywhere in the world, at any time. Unlike land-based air forces that depend on overseas airfields and host nation support, a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier carries its own runway wherever it sails. Whether responding to a humanitarian crisis, deterring aggression, or supporting combat operations, a carrier strike group can arrive in international waters and begin launching missions without relying on foreign bases. But this capability depends entirely on the pilots who can safely recover their aircraft after every mission. A fighter jet that cannot land back on the carrier is no longer part of the fight. Every successful recovery allows the aircraft to be refueled, rearmed, inspected, and prepared for its next sortie, often within a matter of hours. This continuous cycle enables the carrier air wing to maintain a sustained operational tempo during both peacetime patrols and high-intensity combat. Carrier-qualified pilots are therefore more than skilled aviators. They are a critical part of one of the world's most flexible and rapidly deployable military forces. Their ability to land safely on a moving flight deck ensures that the carrier remains a self-contained airbase capable of operating across vast oceans, far from friendly territory. Every successful landing represents years of discipline, precision, and teamwork, a tradition passed down through generations of naval aviators. And for every rookie who catches that first arresting wire, it marks the beginning of a career unlike any other. For a rookie naval aviator, catching that first arresting wire is more than just a successful landing. It's the moment years of determination, discipline, and relentless training finally pay off. It marks the transition from student pilot to a trusted member of one of the world's most elite aviation communities. But earning carrier qualification doesn't mean the learning ends. Every landing is carefully reviewed by landing signal officers, who evaluate each approach for precision, consistency, and safety. Even the most experienced pilots continue to learn, refine their techniques, and train for new challenges. In naval aviation, complacency is considered one of the greatest dangers, which is why every approach is treated with the same focus as the very first. An aircraft carrier may be built from steel, powered by nuclear reactors, and equipped with some of the most advanced technology ever developed. Yet its greatest strength isn't the ship itself. It's the people who operate it. From the deck crews guiding aircraft across the flight deck to the landing signal officers monitoring every approach, and the pilots making split-second decisions in the cockpit, every successful landing is the result of extraordinary teamwork. So the next time you watch a fighter jet slam onto the deck of an aircraft carrier, remember that you're witnessing far more than a landing. You're seeing the final test of years of training, precision, courage, and trust, performed on a runway that never stops moving. If you enjoyed this documentary, be sure to subscribe to Carrier Command for more in-depth military documentaries exploring naval aviation, cutting-edge military technology, and the incredible operations that happen beyond the headlines. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next mission.